we talked there about the undisputed fight taking place on February 17th in Riyadh, the ongoing, never-ending, apparently, Riyadh season. Tyson Fury and Oleksandr Usyk. I think I read either today or yesterday that Usyk's now flown out to Riyadh. Sorry, not Usyk. Fury's now flown out to Riyadh to conclude his preparations or continue, I guess, because there's still, 6 weeks to go. The recent performance from Fury against Francis Ngannou and the comments and criticisms of the training team and the training camp from Big John Fury on our channel. It's nice to reference our channel with some of these interviews. It seems we are working, guys, so you know. It seems to be giving Usyk, in the minds of a lot of people, because I've been looking on social media as well, more of a chance. People seem to now feel, not that Usyk's the favourite necessarily, but it seems to be evening up a bit compared to when the fight was first announced. Before, like when it was announced, it had been signed. So before the Ngannou fight, not everyone, but most people seem to be picking Fury on points. That seems to be a consensus pick. You know, a bigger version of Usyk, a more awkward, switch hitting, tall, heavy Fury would be too big and too strong and just too difficult puzzle for even Usyk to solve. And that seems to be changing very much now that Fury's kind of laid an egg, if you like, against Francis Ngannou. What do you make of that, Ayman? And also, because I don't think we've discussed this, because we had Steve Wellings on, who did a fine job, of course, over the last couple of weeks. But of John Fury's comments, you know, is it all a smokescreen? Is he trying to lull Usyk into a false sense of security, or is he genuinely unhappy with Tyson's situation?
Steve Wellings, who's that? Never heard of him. Never heard of that guy. Also, by the way, we're talking about credit. Let's get this out of the way as well too. Let's get a resolution from everyone in the industry. Credit where you get your sources from. Too many people saying, I heard this in an interview. I heard that in an interview. What interview? It's hearsay. Say where you saw it. Come on, guys. Help each other out. But yes, so going on to Tyson Fury and his chances against Oleksandr Usyk. Look, I'll be plain and clear with this. And as I have been, I've always tended to flip-flop with my choices as to who I feel wins that fight between the two, because of what the skills are that they bring to the ring, because of the physicality that Fury brings to the ring, because of the level of skill and IQ that Usyk brings to the ring. Right now, I stand on Usyk. I stood on Usyk before the Ngannou fight. I'll stay there for now, but I'll be honest with you, I'm likely to flip-flop again until that fight happens. So bear with me on that one. But I imagine there are a lot of people in the 100 and something in the chat right now who aren't giving their opinions on Fury Usyk. So let me know in the comments as well too what your picks are for Fury versus Usyk. But look, yeah, Usyk for me stands as my pick right now. But John Fury's comments, for anyone who's looking to back the Brit, for anyone who's been following the Fury journey for many, many years, like yourself, Danny, followed Fury from the start, been carted by him in the back of the car and on the traveller parks and such. Hearing his father say, and I know that his father said a lot throughout his career, and sometimes you have to take a pinch of salt, and the Furies are savvy in that sense because they know that when it comes to an interview, you want a headline, they want to give you a headline. Let's get the headline in. You got the headline in about the Fury camp being a circus, but is there merit to it? I don't feel that John Fury doesn't have legitimate concerns about the camp going into an undisputed fight. I think his concerns are reasonable without knowing the concerns because of the height of the stake involved, because it's undisputed. I think John might find himself on the periphery of the undisputed because of the occasion and what John's side of the bargaining is when he comes into an event like this might detract away from the focus there by it being a deliberate consequence or not. But that's part of the Fury package. That's part of the John Fury package. And if he feels that he's out of the picture, then he might feel that he doesn't have a real hold on it and doesn't have a real understanding of what the preparations are going into. I like to have the faith that Fury, that being Tyson, does have his camp in check and is preparing fully for a Usyk fight. I can't fully feel that Tyson won't be taking this camp seriously. So I would without really knowing the details there, I'll be backing that Tyson does have his ducks in a row heading into the Usyk fight.
I appreciate the acknowledgement. I am kind of Paul Heyman to Tyson Fury's Brock Lesnar. A few chats here. MC Boswell says AJ should do a third fight with Ruiz before we see him fight Usyk again or Fury, as they're 1-1. And let's see indeed if he is the old AJ. Smoking Joe says if Joshua performs similarly against Hrgovic, there is a very strong claim that he's back to his best. And he also says what refereeing we will get. What referee we get will make a big difference to the Fury Usyk outcome. Will they allow holding and low blows? Yeah, maybe we'll have a special guest referee of like Frank Warren jump in there or someone else. Samuel WL says, who do you guys think will win Fury versus Usyk? And do you guys think we'll get an AJ versus Usyk 3? Okay, well, I might as well jump off on that as I was going to go into Fury Usyk anyway. I still think Fury beats Usyk for all the same reasons I did before. I think he clearly underestimated Ngannou. I don't think, he put as much in necessarily to training camp as he should have. I think he probably thought it'd be more of a walk in the park instead of a walk through a minefield, as it turned out to be. And I think, if anything, this increases his chances of beating Usyk because it will serve as a wake-up call that he's not unbeatable, that his legacy is at stake, and that it's incredibly important he leaves no stone unturned when preparing for someone who is used to winning on away turf, who's won world titles at different weights, which Fury can't claim, who is a natural southpaw, which again Fury can't claim, and who's found a way to beat every man that's put in front of him so far. And for the most part, pretty dominantly as well. I think there's every chance this becomes the hardest fight of Fury's career. But I still think that Fury, when it comes to the crunch, is too big, too awkward, too strong. I think the point that Smoke and Joe made about the referee is well made. Because I think, if Fury is allowed to get away with a lot of things we've seen him do in other fights, these are things that there's no real way to prepare for. Usyk can go in against big, strong guys in sparring and encourage them to claim him and to wrestle him around. But it's not the same as doing it under the lights and the big occasion and just getting to grips with it. No one's going to be quite as tall and long as Fury with the same amount of talent and ability that he has. And the style that he can use, that kind of leaning on and bullying around and that kind of thing, he's owned that over many years. So anyone you bring into the training camp's not going to be able to replicate him entirely anyway. And I just think, I'm not saying he's going to make it an incredibly dirty fight or be a spoiler, but I do fancy him to come through. I think he'll do enough work when he needs to and negate Usyk when he needs to come out with the victory, probably on points or maybe wearing him down for a late stoppage. So I don't think we'll see Usyk AJ 3 because I think without Usyk having all the belts, there's not really a reason for it. There's not really a strong driver because AJ was clearly beaten in the first two fights. I think we're much more likely to see AJ against Fury, which is a huge, huge fight worldwide, but particularly in Britain. I hope it happens in the UK. I'd be very disappointed if it ended up in the Middle East, although I'd completely understand the reasoning behind it. But yeah, I mean, that's a fight that people in Britain have wanted to see for a long, long time. If it's a resurgent AJ with the IBF belt against Fury, who's come off 2 Usyk victories and has 3 of the 4 major titles, so it's the third undisputed fight. The second, because an Usyk rematch wouldn't be for all 4 belts. So the second undisputed fight, but this one, the first between 2 Brits in the 4-belt era, 2 of the biggest stars in world boxing as well. I mean, what more could you want?